Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Um, Excited to have you guys on for our live JSM feature face-off with Rick, Earl, and Brandon Davies. My name's Darren. I'm the head of marketing here at Elegance Group, and I'm going to be the host and referee for today's session. I'm looking forward to it. I can actually see there's already a quick question there. And yes, there will be a recording of the session afterwards. So we'll send that out to everyone who has registered for the event. So thanks for asking that. Just a little bit about today's session. So basically, it's a short, sharp end-of-year wrap on Jira Service Management. We wanted to do something a little bit fun, a little bit different. So we decided we'll get two of our JSM experts together and have them go head-to-head on their picks for the top most impactful updates to JSM this year. And then also round out with, a top pick for, what should be on your roadmap for next year. That could be one of these new features, or it could be something that is older but still underutilized. So this is going to be fast, practical, but fun. So we'll get into it shortly. Just wanted to say, if you've got any questions, drop them into the chat. We have some Q&A time sort of planned in, so definitely pop any questions you have in and we'll answer those. And as I mentioned before, there will be a recording and a summary of the session afterwards. So feel free to share that around with anyone who couldn't make it today. Now, just to set the scene a little bit before we get into the picks. So the reason we're doing this is we believe 2025 has been a huge year for JSM. One of the big headline announcements in recent months has been Atlassian's new service collection. And really that's, we're seeing there's a big shift from JSM being a, ITSM product with, some other abilities to really becoming a true enterprise service platform. If you're not already aware, JSM, so Jira Service Management, is now a part of Service Collection. You can't buy JSM on its own anymore. You buy Service Collection. If you're a new customer, that is, and for existing customers, you'll be rolled on to Service Collection if you currently have a subscription to JSM. And my understanding is that for many, that will be in February, that your JSM subscription will become Service Collection. That one of the big updates is that the new customer service management module is included, for everyone going forward. So that's the external customer facing version of JSM, effectively dedicated, external customer portals. So, for us, we think the direction is clear. JSM is no longer just for IT. It's for HR, it's for legal, facilities, finance, and obviously now customer service as well. There's also been obviously a lot of AI updates. And so, AI has been a hot topic this year. There's been some huge updates in JSM and Atlassian Cloud in general. There's some obvious ones like, a virtual agent, being able to do faster triage and some smarter self-service abilities. But there's also some sort of quieter features that have come out with AI that haven't been as widely discussed. So it'd be interesting to see if these guys, pick anything along those lines. And we just think that a lot of teams are not really aware of what's in the box and what's possible. And they're paying for this product that's really powerful, but possibly not utilizing, all the features that they could be. Today's simple. We just want to cut through the noise of all the many announcements that have happened and show you what, in our opinions, really matters and what needs to be on your roadmap for next year. So before we kick off, quick word on how this is going to work. So Brandon and Rick have each picked their top 3 updates. Neither of them knows what the other person's picked. So there could be double ups. We're not sure. There could be disagreements. We're going to run it as rounds. So Rick and Brandon will go feature for feature, starting number 3 and ending on their top pick for the year. Hopefully a bit of friendly disagreement, a bit of banter. And then after that, we'll shift gears into 2026 roadmap. So like I said, they'll each pick one feature of JSM that everyone should be implementing next year, regardless of whether it's something new or not. Yeah, the goal is really just to leave you with, two very clear priorities that you should be thinking about for next year if you haven't already implemented it. So with that, let's get into it. What I'll do is I will throw to Rick first. Rick, why don't you give us your number 3 pick for 2025?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. And I kind of deliberately chosen some non-AI ones because they have a danger of being overshadowed and when they're just as important. So by all the AI hype. So my third pick is all of the new automation actions for external platforms. So such as Workato, Workday, got some Salesforce ones in there. Lots of things that you used to have to do with API calls and kind of basically forming up your own outbound calls can now be done with out-of-the-box actions.
Awesome, mate. Thank you. And Brandon, why don't you jump in and give us your third pick now, mate?
Ironically, my third pick is also automation, but it's not the automation that Rick is talking about. It's actually the enhanced automations we have with advanced components. So early on this year, we started to have lookup tables in automation, and now we have multiple branches at the same time running, which is lovely. And now we have smart delays as well and dynamic lookup tables. So even this week, I found out there is a new advanced component added. Actually, this morning, I found out that they have loops now. So we're basically having like a little bit of a mini programming language inside of automation now, which is crazy because this kind of revolutionizes any business and can eliminate many external tools to save money. You can basically do Zapier, IDP automations, automated reporting, all inside automation now with advanced components.
Awesome, thank you. And not to put either of you on the spot necessarily with that pick, but just something to think about for your other picks. If you've got any examples, sort of practical examples of how customers could implement these features or how you've seen them implemented with existing customers, feel free to sort of share that too. So Rick, let's jump to you. Number 2 pick.
Yeah, so my second pick is kind of a little bit less glamorous behind the scenes, but it's the new features for cloud-to-cloud site copy. And specifically the ones that include the assets data. That used to be a real manual task, and it could take many hours of manual setup to refresh back, for example, a whole series of asset schemas and objects and all of the data and relationships. You have to manually recreate that on the sandbox or on another site. Now you can actually copy it between sites. So that can save dozens of hours per development.
Awesome. Thank you, mate. And all right, we'll jump to you, Brandon. What's your number 2 pick?
So mine is completely opposite direction, I think. It's the virtual agent improvements, which you kind of hinted at a little bit already in the intro. But now they can call APIs and run automations from the portal itself. So customers can actually action on behalf of automated systems now. This helps GSM customers gain power, increasing like level 1 and level 2 deflections by using an enhanced automated agent. It can use APIs to check the status of the billing portal automatically. You can use automation to reset passwords for you automatically. And that was never a thing before, all inside the portal from a customer itself, because they don't have tokens for Rovo and stuff like that. So all these improvements with automation and API support now lets virtual agents do practically anything and saves agents hours every single week.
Love it. Let's take a quick pause before we jump into the number 1 picks. Can I get a little bit of feedback from you, Rick, on Brandon's picks? Do you agree, disagree? Like, I'm keen to get a little reaction going before we get to the final pick from each of you on what each other have picked so far.
Yeah, I reckon he's way too focused on like customers and clients and stuff. I'm more focused on making stuff easier for us. No, I'm just kidding.
Brandon, any surprises with Rick's picks so far?
I mean, the first one, I think that, he's picking some automation components that are somewhat useful, but there are much better ones, And especially with APIs and stuff, the developer always has the better right than the components, so you'll do a better job.
Oh, not everyone wants to eat pizza till 4 a.m. Brandon, like you. So, I'm picking ones that normal people can actually do and replace their integrations and complex stuff that they normally need to call you for. Now they need to call you less.
I will add another thing as well on top of that is recently they've added Forge automation components. So we can actually combine both of them and we can create our own automation components. So, the nerdy boys at the back who are eating Doritos can code their own automation component. And then that can be used as a UI for the people who are not familiar with automation. And it can just be an easy click button for them to use.
Wow, that's true. And then also by saving on a whole lot of paid add-ons, for example, to retrieve intra attributes that you can now with the native actions, that frees up some money to pay you to do all of that stuff, Brendan.
Yeah, well, also you can save money, or you can have enhanced app vendors who can also make automations for you directly, which some people love the app vendors and the apps. So automation can now actually have apps in there, which never really happened before, which is nice too. Best of both worlds. Cool.
This is the kind of back and forth that I was hoping for. I'm glad I sort of egged you guys on there. So now with that, Rick, let's get into the number one pick, and we'll do Rick, you pick yours, and then Brandon, before you run into yours, give us a little reaction to Rick's number one pick, and then do the same once Brandon gives us his. Rick, throw back to you for a quick reaction. So go ahead, Rick, take us away.
Well, my number one pick is all of the enhancements and extensions that have been made available to style and structure the JSM portal, because that was a massively limited and almost universally hated aspect of the system. And it was a process of carefully managed disappointment explaining it. Whereas now the possibilities are almost endless, and you can actually have a very multi-page, multi-help center, different themes. You can also embed Confluence content, forms, and other things directly as smart links inline into the rich text sections. And it means that you can get rid of old burdens like maintaining a horrible wiki markup string full of all of your portal announcements. Instead, you can drive them from Confluence pages.
Nice. And I believe you've had some personal experience with styling, and that's caused you some headaches in the past. So I think I can understand why that's
sure.
Been
Yeah, well, numerous clients, some of whom have kind of accepted and worked with the old limitations of the portal, but as it scaled, they ran into frustration. Others who've worked with theming tools, and they're hugely expensive, and they're very powerful, some of them, but they also come with their own little wrinkles.
Yeah. So do you think now some of those additional tools won't be necessary then? So there's a potential savings there, right?
Yeah, don't have those now.
Okay, awesome. That sounds great. Brandon, give us a quick reaction and then run into your number one pick.
I would love to see some of these designs actually in place as an actual word. I'd like to see them and note an article about what they can do, because it is a really cool feature. But also, as a Gen Z person, I hate portals and I never want to see them anyway. So Rovo agents can now be used in portals. So that skips all that. Hopefully, you can just ask your Rovo agent, where is it? And it'll find it for me in AI, basically, futuristic. But that is kind of very early. It is very recent that Rovo agents can be used in the portal. So that'll take some time to actually figure out properly how to use it. Because currently the virtual agent is the only kind of main thing that people see. But Rovo is on the virtual customer side as well, kind of. So that'll be cool. And that puts me into what my number one pick is also, which is Rovo agents for GSM specifically. So we have practiced and tested internally about auto triaging, auto setting fields based on company knowledge. Rovo can check where the reporter is actually based, where their company profile is, and that can set the region based on the reporter automatically. And you can have Confluence pages which explains what a team does exactly. So what does the IT team cover? And then the Rovo can read that page and triage it to that team, automatically again. And it can set asset fields, as much as Rick would love to do that. So that helps a lot with just basically having a reliable source of triaging, which doesn't exist right now. This AI triage, which has to be reviewed by a human agent, and that can also still take some time. So doing it all automatically based on a Confluence page that you manage is great. And obviously Loom transcript automation coming out as well recently. We've tested with that. where you can have Rovo scan through transcripts with automation and just find out information, action, and all that. It can act on it for you through automation, or if you're a bit scared about what that actually can happen, you don't want the robots taking over or anything, it can just create a little ticket for you and say the actions that have been mentioned, and then the human can review that and do it themselves, which saves you time going through transcripts anyway.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, Brendan, I'm going to print out some of my portal designs and I'll fax them to you.
I'll go to the local library for that then.
Cool.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, I love it. I love that you guys have actually ended up all picking, different features. So we've got six things for anyone joining live or watching the recording to think about, and whether they're utilizing those. So that's awesome. So let's go into 2026 roadmap. So as I said at the start, doesn't need to be one of these new features, doesn't need to be a new feature at all. What's one thing that you keep seeing that customers are underutilizing in JSM that you think would deliver the business value? I'll go with you first, Rick.
Well, actually, mine directly follows on from what Brendan was just saying, because basically with all of the capability in the level 1 and level 2 kind of triage, classification, routing, prioritization, all of that kind of stuff that used to be done by people can now be done effectively by the agents and by the logic. Now, what that says to me is that people will be, it's a mindset shift that I see as the biggest thing that is probably, it's underutilized right now because the shift hasn't fully occurred. But what that mindset shift is thinking of your people as, not necessarily level 3, maybe that whole level 1, 2, and 3 idea will change a bit as well. But basically, people need to be thought of as being in the mix to do things that people can do, only people can do, and leverage their decision-making and creativity, and let the system do all of the rest. So that's a mindset shift that I'm seeing very patchily adopted. People conceptually get it, but actually implementing that as a day-to-day operation throughout large-scale workforces, that's what I think is going to start to shift.
Okay, yeah, great. And do you think that's is it a heavy burden to implement what you're suggesting, or do you what's your thoughts on how easily could customers adopt that mindset and that way of working in JSM, do you think?
Well, it's easy to conceptually kind of agree with that idea, but then putting it into practice depends on the context and the complexity of the models and the life cycles and the kinds of requests and various tasks you're dealing with. And it also depends on the culture inside your organization, but it also depends on how you actually engage and implement the automated aspect that still is not complete and fully in place yet. If that's done right and done as simple as possible, but scalable and easily maintained and not without all these little gotchas that actually increase the manual workload rather than decrease it, then that's when you can start to see that unlock. But it's not that it's an intersection of many different dependencies and things that have to happen, but it'll incrementally occur over time. I think what we're going to see is quite a different array of levels of progress and success across the market. That some people will nail it fast, others will struggle. I guess one of the temptations that in the current climate is to see it as a means to cut costs and just get AI to do it all. But we all know that it's not quite that simple. And so what I'm suggesting is a qualitative shift of what the people are working on. So leveraging your human resources more effectively and less like machines. Okay.
Seems like the kind of thing that if done well would be relatively easy to see the ROI on it, right? Like quite easy to qualitatively, see the value, right? In terms of how much faster issues are resolved, how much less time humans are having to spend resolving, level 1 and 2 issues. So seems like the kind of thing that, you know, is an easy win and easy to report on and see the return on doing that, which is always great. Okay, awesome. Anything else to add before we throw to Brandon?
Just it's going to take a lot of pizza.
Brilliant. Okay, Brandon, give us what needs to be on everyone's roadmap for 2026.
It's important to note that 2 of my options are universal across the Atlassian ecosystem. They're not just GSM specific. So enhanced automations and robo agents are across the whole ecosystem, and they share the knowledge and everything like that. So they're very flexible. Virtual agent obviously is GSM specific now, but going forward, these are all still developing rapidly. You know, they're all still pretty good now, and some of them will be good for many years still, but they are still developing into the next year rapidly, as everything does. So Rovo is the biggest thing I'm going to be looking for. There's Rovo skills, which are very much added very recently, but they're looking to add external Rovo skills as well. So vendors and software competitors can even make Rovo skills. And one great example I saw was, you know, if you're looking at automations that will look at a company, and when they hit their targets for the month, it will have a Domino's Rovo agent, which will be assigned to the task, and will just order pizza for everybody based on the ticket description. And that is wonderful. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. Domino's is making money, and it's making a little simple agent, which can be assigned to a task. You know, you go for every single software, HubSpot, Microsoft Suite, Google Suite, all these things can have Rovo agents, which can be assigned to tasks. And they can create actions and do actions themselves based on their softwares, which will cost you nothing, hopefully, because you're already using those platforms anyway. And that gets me excited. That gets me excited a lot. And also just Rovo getting better in general, having more flexibility and more customization we have like behaviors and skills and all those kind of scenarios now. And I'm just really hoping for automation with Rovo Agent to be better. Right now, we can only spit out text, basically. I want it to be able to action because some Rovo agents have more actions than automation does right now. So there's a bit of a mismatch there, unless you've got to make it yourself, which is a bit of a pain. And my wild card for 2026 is the browser company purchase. I'm very curious to see what they do with that because Arc browser was pretty cool. And the browser they're making is, I'm assuming, this is a speculation, that they will have AI agentic browsers in the future, which will basically, you type in a prompt and it will do it for you. You can resolve tasks and stuff. The AI agent will do that for you just by typing in prompts. And that would be really cool because I think AI agentic browsers are maybe not the future, but the focus for the next few years to see if they can work. And if they do work, they'll be quite revolutionary.
Awesome. Who would have thought today's theme would have been pizza after all that?
Rick kept mentioning pizza all the time. So,
Rick,
any thoughts on Brandon's picks here?
Yeah, it sounds good, but he did say it didn't cost anything, and I'm not sure. Does Rovo pay for the pizza for you?
Well, I wish that was the case, but I'm assuming what they mentioned in Team 25 is like Domino's will create a Rovo agent like skill, basically, and it will be able to be added to your site for free. But then, obviously, as soon as you pay for the pizzas, they're coming from somebody. It's coming from the billing.
Right. Oh,
Brett's paying for everyone. And maybe if it expands, it will be like a remote one as well, where it will just send out pizzas to everybody at everyone's houses. That'd be great.
Great. Love it. No, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. And again, great that you sort of both had some slightly different, suggestions for customers there. And yeah, plenty for everyone to be thinking about for next year, which is great. I will just check any final comments from either of you before I sort of wrap up.
It's been a very big year for updates, and with the Tea Time Tech I write, it's been quite chaotic, and I think I've got some more ideas now with this in mind as well. With researching for this and also Rick's answers, there's quite a lot of things that has been overlooked, especially the enhanced automations with the advanced components thing. I've seen nobody use them in practice yet, and they are quite amazing. So I'm looking forward to using them more in the future, and also just saving money on like Zapier and these other things that we don't need anymore.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Rick?
It's going to be it will be interesting to see where the line of demarcation shifts in terms of automation handing off to external processing and cloud functions, and Zapier or Kato, if that can be replaced and maintained efficiently inside the automation context, that'll be a really cool thing. And it's going to become it's shaping up to be a development framework in many ways.
We could also have an honorable mention here. One of Rick's favorites is the automation APIs, where Rick wants to be able to manage the automations through the automation API, which came out this year as well. You can basically edit and draft and all this kind of stuff with automation APIs now.
Yes, that's a very good one if you've got 400 plus active rules in your site. And yes, that can be quite handy, especially if someone goes and disables and deletes the wrong ones. But that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, I hope not. And also, like, my disappointment for the year is at Flashy Analytics. Every single year. Being enterprise only is such a big miss, I think. And I hope it becomes at least like a payable app in the future somewhere, like a premium payable app, something like that, because it's quite a cool, software, and it's part of the Dashian suite. It saves people a lot of money. There's so many, data analytics add-ons, reporting add-ons that people need, and they're struggling with when we have the whole data lake there already for people who enterprise. So maybe that becomes more of a thing in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, the asset reports are kind of a little slice of analytics outside of analytics. I guess the home dashboards may show some hints of that as well.
There's definitely some work on the hood, under the hood, like happening a lot with analytics across the whole board, like the home dashboard you mentioned. And also, they're adding Jira reporting at the top now of some projects. So they're really working on that and working on speeding it up and hopefully cutting the cost down so they can finally bring it to people other than enterprise, because that can be quite difficult sometimes.
Well, maybe it'll be something announced next year. We'll have to, keep our ears.
I'm praying for it. I'm praying.
Every year.
If so, lots of people are going to brush up on their SQL. It's quite odd to think that you're writing SQL inside these charts, but maybe that'll change as well.
I'm missing my charts. I really like charts.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, and thanks for everyone who joined for the live. Huge thanks to Brandon, yourself, and Rick. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate you guys putting a bit of thought into this beforehand and coming prepared with some great things for people to take home and think about. Of course, for anyone watching, if there's anything, if you ever want help prioritizing, your roadmap, or just sanity checking what's on your roadmap for next year with JSM or any Atlassian products, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy to do a review of your current product tooling setup, roadmap, and where we think some of the easiest and best wins could be for you. Again, we'll send the recording out after this. We'll put together a summary of what Brandon and Rick have discussed as well, so that'll be a good resource to be able to share around quite easily. And then before we go, we do have another exciting webinar in the works. So we've got something that we're planning for February once everyone's back from hopefully a nice summer break. That's going to be a sort of live sort of panel discussion. And we're going to get a few of our customers who are using JSM outside of the IT teams and sort of extending its use into other business teams. And we're going to just talk to them about that journey from IT service management to more of an enterprise service management play, understanding what they're doing, why they're doing it, what the wins have been, anything that they would do differently next time. And hopefully it's a really helpful session for anyone, who's thinking about a similar play. So that should be a great one. Looking forward to that. And there'll be some information on that coming out in the next couple of weeks. And of course, if we don't talk to you beforehand, we hope everyone has a great Christmas break and New Year's, and hopefully it has a nice bit of downtime, with family and friends over summer. Thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next session. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. Take care.